Hello students, welcome into the new session of CS22 operating system concepts using Linux Unix. As we are discussing about the fundamental concepts in unit number 1 called introduction, where we have completed with the several topics like the definition of operating system, features and functionality of operating system, and then we have started with various types of operating system where we have completed with batch operating system, time sharing operating system, and now we are at the discussion of a distributed operating system, which you can see onto the screen. So let's start with the same. Today it might possible that we'll get complete with the unit number 1, or we can say the chapter number 1 called introduction. So let's start with distributed operating system. Now first we will discuss about the definition of distributed operating system, that how, or you can say why it is called as distributed operating system. So as the name is suggested, distributed operating system, the main word in the entire title is distributed, which is called as a centralized. That means a distributed system use multiple central processors to serve multiple real-time application and for multiple users. So yes, we can say that this is something, a very hybrid technology is going to introduce for all of us now, where there are multiple users are there. Even no doubt in previous operating system there are multiple users, same is carry forwarded into the distributed operating system, plus there is an addition of multiple real-time applications. So here we need to first know that what is real-time operating system means. Real-time application means the application which generates the real-time results. It is just like displaying the cricket score over the website. If the player has taken a one run, then only the one run is incremented. If he has given a sixer or four, then the same real-time score is there onto the screen. That is called as real-time application with multiple central processors. Generally in our single computer there is a single processor and multiple applications for multiple users are getting used, right? But now that scenario that is going to be changed by introducing the distributed operating system. In distributed operating system there is a multiple usage of different central processing units situated at the different location of the entire institute, or we can say the place, where multiple real-time applications are also installed on that operating systems, and multiple users are separately sitting on their computers and they are accessing the multiple processors. Now without getting more confused, let's say that if we are using distributed operating system, then our uh, job scheduling, or we can say the execution period of the application or the information which is requested by the users get executes very faster than the all older operating system that we have discussed previously. Now let's go ahead. Now as I have indicated yet that distributed operating system is more faster than the previous operating system like batch, multi-program, multitasking, time sharing operating system, because of its data processing jobs are distributed among the processors accordingly. That means a single processor doesn't have to handle all the requests, but number of requests are distributed over the number of processors. So ultimately the user who use the computer, or you can say the distributed operating system, gets the result more faster than all other operating system. In short, we can say that in distributed operating system, information or the task get distributed over the multiple number of processors, so the execution becomes faster. That's why the name is given called distributed operating system. Now All these processors, no doubt they are separate, situated on a separate location, but they are communicating with each other through the single communication line, such as high-speed internet or a telephone line. No doubt, at the time of a distributed operating system, there is not a concept of high-speed internet connection. At that particular line, there is a dial-up connection. So, telephone lines are used to communicate with different processors which are situated on the different positions. But as the time goes, new technology get introduced into the market, and high-speed internet connection with lease line get introduced in the market. So the data communication becomes more faster. So in short, what I want to say in my topic number 3 is, no doubt processors are separately located on the different locations, but they are communicating with each other through the single communication channel. That communication channel might be a telephone line or it might be high speed internet connection line. Now, due to this, that means due to the reference of topic number 3, as they are communicating with each other through the single communication line, it is referred as a loosely coupled system, right? That means here there is a definition of loosely coupled system which might be important for the university point of view. A question might be asked that what is loosely coupled system. So loosely coupled system means when the processors are situated on the different locations and they are communicating with each other through the single communication line, and the task get completed within a fraction of time. That system is called as loosely coupled system, or it is also called as distributed system, and that's why the name of operating system is given called distributed operating system. I hope all of you gets a very clear cut idea about that what is the distributed system. In short, I am giving you the concluding part of the definition called distributed operating system, in which the multiple processors are situated on multiple locations. They are processing the several number of tasks, but they are communicating with a single communication channel through the high speed internet connection or through the telephonic communication. That is called as loosely coupled system, or we can say distributed operating system. Now, during this, processors in a distributed system may vary in a size and a function. That means even one more question comes in our mind, that no doubt multiple processors are situated on the different locations. They are communicating with the common channel. Should that all processor have the common configuration? So the answer is no. There is no such type of rule for accessing the resources through the distributed operating system. Processor might vary in the size and the functionality. That means any types of processor can be used through the distributed operating system. For example, suppose I have 5 processors like Pentium 4, Celeron. First is Pentium 4, the second is Celeron, third is i3, fourth is i5, and the last one is latest one, i7. Then distributed operating system can also be configured through all these processors. They get executed, and they get executed commonly through the single communication line, and they can give the desired output to the particular user. No doubt, in this type of configuration, the execution time of the particular task may vary. If you keep all the processors configuration same, then the execution speed should be serialized. That means it might be a common one. So these processors are referred as a site, or you can say the node or computer, so on. All these are the common word which can be used for the processors. Now, This distributed operating system have various advantages as prescribed onto the screen, like first one, distributed operating system have a resource sharing facility. This is the first advantage of using distributed operating system. Uh, no doubt there are various disadvantages too, but that we will discuss later on. Let first complete about the advantages. Take a positive side first. So distributed operating system have a facility to share their resources. That means a user at one site, that means the user located on a particular computer is able to use the resources available of another site. It's very simple. This distributed operating system requires a strong network first, where the users can sit and use any resources from anywhere where the network get connected. That is called as resource sharing. I would like to share one simple example. Say for example, lecture. શું હતું બોલો? I don't know. એ ત્યાં લેબમાં હશે. Sorry for the interruption. We are discussing about the first advantage, that is a distributed operating system provides a resource sharing facility. For example, yes, one printer is get attached with the server computer, and total 5 to 6 users are sitting on different client machines, and they are using a single printer for taking the printout of their required document. Then it is possible by sharing a common printer with all the users. That is called as resource sharing facility. Second is distributed operating system speed up the exchanging of data with one or more nodes, or you can say the computer, through the electronic media, or you can say the email. Now during this entire TPS, called a transaction processing system, if any of the site is down, that means from the 5 different computers, any of the computer is down, that means not working properly, then potentially the other sites are on and they are accepting the work which is passed by the user as a request. It is not just like a what we can say, that bus topology, where if any of the previous node is not working properly, the entire network gets shut down. But in no doubt that is the lines of computer network. We are discussing about the operating system, but I'm just passing the reference of that particular subject over here, where it says that if any of the node is not working properly in the entire system, then in distributed operating system, other processors or other computers, other nodes, other site will accept the request of the user, and they are continuing the operation. That is one of the best advantage of using distributed operating system. Now due to all these three, that is resource sharing, exchanging of the data through email, and they are continuing the work if any of the site is get down, that means due to these three advantages, the fourth advantage is, we can say that it provides a better customer service. That means customers are satisfied with the service which is given by the operating system, as they are not stopped working due to the lack of resources. Now the fifth one, or the next one, is again a very important advantage that due to all this, again I'm just taking the name resource sharing, exchanging of the data, continuing the operation, due to all this, the entire load of host computer get reduced. This is very important. How it works? Say for example, there is a single processor, single server, and hundreds of computers are get connected with that particular server. Then that server get engaged throughout the life cycle of entire network. But if that host computer, or you can say the server computer, have a distributed operating system where the information get distributed over the entire network, then the entire payload or working load, we can say, not a payload but a working load, is getting reduced for that particular server. If the workload is get reduced, then the entire execution of the network, or you can say the operating system on which the entire network get hosted, works very fast, and even it reduces the delay of giving the response, or you can say the data processing. In short, due to the distributed operating system, there is a reduction of delay in data processing, a reduction of load into the for the host computer. It gives the better service. It continues the entire TPS, called transaction processing system. If any of the node gets shut down or not working properly, it have the facility of sharing the various resources, and it speed up the exchange of data over the entire site, or you can say the number of node. So these are the various advantages of using distributed operating system. The reverse of this is the disadvantages of distributed operating system. That means, as per my review, the first disadvantage of distributed operating system is costing. If we want to use the distributed operating system, then the entire cost of stabilizing the entire scenario is very costly than batch time sharing multiprocessing operating system. Second is, it requires a one dedicated user who manage this entire architecture. Obviously it considers into the, that could be considered into the costing part, but this is point number 2. 3 is what? A deep technical knowledge is required for the system administrator. 5th or 4th, whatever the next one is, it requires continuous maintenance. If we didn't maintain the distributed operating system environment, then it might possible on a very next day it should not work. So these 4 to 5 are the main disadvantages of distributed operating system. Let's go into the another one, that is called as network operating system. This is actually the option of a distributed operating system. As I have indicated into the disadvantages of distributed operating system, that it is very costly, one dedicated person is required, continuous maintenance is required, so on so on. All these things get overcomes into the next type of operating system, which is called as network operating system. And right now in market, this is very useful, or you can say majorly used by the small to large scale organizations. Now, as the name is suggested, a network operating system runs on the server and provides the server capability to manage the data for user, for the group of user. It also provides the security of the data, execution of various applications, and perform other networking functions. The primary purpose of the network system is to allow the sharing of files and giving the access of printing the data from the multiple computers, which are typically get connected through the local area network, which might be a public network or the private network, ultimately communicates with the server on which the printer get connected, should be used by multiple users, no doubt. This facility is also given by the distributed operating system, but the complication of establishing the entire structure get reduced into the network operating system by introducing one of the popular protocol called Tcp Ip protocol. We will not discuss more about Tcp Ip protocol because it's a part of computer network actually, but right now we are discussing about the network operating system. That's why I have just taken the name of that particular protocol. Without taking the full form of TCP IP, we cannot go ahead. So the full form of TCP IP is Transmission Control Protocol slash TCP means Transmission Control Protocol, slash means slash, it's a symbol, and IP means Internet Protocol. This entire, or you can say this protocol, is generally used for stabilizing the connection between the several computers and passing the data amongst the any distance between the two computers through the IP. So the various examples of network operating systems are Microsoft Windows Server 2008, then we can say the Fedora, it's a Linux, Puppy Linux, Red Hat, Novel Network, BSD, etc. etc. All these are the different flavors which use network operating system. They have their own advantages, like it provides the facility of centralization, means centralized servers are highly stable. They provides better security than the others, as there is a management of the groups, and under a single group there should be a multiple users, so easily administrator can recognize the particular user that task has been performed by that particular group. Next is in network operating system, upgradations to the new technology by upgrading the hardwares and softwares can easily managed. That means no need to make any software changes, just eject your old hardwares like random access memory, you can say the processor. We cannot remove the hardware called hard disk because the entire operating system gets stored in that particular hardware. So I'm just taking the two name called random access memory, which is removable device, and the second hardware called processor. Again, this is a removable device. We can remove with the technical knowledge, and then we can upgrade. We can install the latest one. It works very fine. Third one is very important. Network operating system provides the remote access. Now, what is remote access? If you are aware with the softwares like TeamViewer or AnyDesk, where any user access your system from any location, that is possible due to this one called remote access. Ultimately, that software enables the remote access in a system in which you have installed that particular software called TeamViewer or AnyDesk, and they gives that resources to the different user situated on different location. From that particular location, user can access the entire system and manage the internal resources of the system. Due to this, it have 2 to 3 disadvantages, like again the cost of buying and running the server is little bit high, but not highest than the higher of operating system called distributed operating system. Second is dependency in the sense of all the client terminals are dependent onto the server. And the third one is common, again I am repeating the sentence, it requires regular maintenance and updates for smooth operation of the entire network operating system. Next one is real-time operating system, which is also called as RTOS, that is real-time operating system. A real-time system is defined as a data processing system in which the time interval required to process and respond to the input is so small that it controls the environment. Before going ahead, in this operating system, the main factor which get considered is a time. As the day passed, technology, as the day passed into the technology, in a very short time, users want their response to get completed. Before 5 to 6 years ago, 10 years ago, or when the computer gets introduced in the market, we'll discuss not more about this because it's a headache actually, but it should be considered. Just imagine whenever the computer is getting introduced into market for the first time. I don't know the year when the computer get introduced in the market, but whatever the year is, obviously it takes time. It takes more time than the today's computer. As the day passed, technocrats updates the resources in such a way that the response time get reduced, so ultimately users receives their responses very faster than the old operating system. One more thing I would like to convey over here. Due to some aspects, or we can say due to some limitations of real-time operating system, this is not that much famous in the market. No doubt. The previous one called a network operating system is very famous in the market, and mostly it is used by any small and large scale organizations. But comparison to the online processing, we can say that real-time operating system is generally used for the data communication through the mode of online processing, where users want an execution of their data when they actually wants. Let's make it easy. Say for example, Indian government has recently launched Chandrayaan 2. At the counting of 1, that is 10, 9, 8, 7, up to 1, once the 1 is declared, at the same time, the rocket get ejected from the base for traveling to the space. That is possible through real-time operating system, only possible through real-time operating system. No doubt, it can be used in many other functionalities like scientific experiments, medical imaging system, industrial control system for controlling the various devices, weapon system, air traffic controlling system, robots, which contains the artificial intelligence, etc. etc. Generally, there are two types of real-time operating systems are there. Here, the classification of internal classifications operating system starts. Up to this, only the specific word is there. Batch means batch. Time sharing means time sharing. Network means network. But now, real-time is again classified into the two different things. That is hard real-time operating system and soft real-time operating system. Let's discuss these two types of real-time operating system in next lecture. Thank you very much students for listening me, and have a nice day.